Hi everyone. Let's see if we're connected. Say hi if you're there. Yeah, you seem to be live on Sentimentally Yours. Hello everybody. Oh, it's so windy down here. Rattling the door. I'm live on my page. Hello to whoever it is that's watching. Hi Annette. Let's just check on YouTube. Hi Caroline. Hi Bonnie. There I am. Yes. I'm on Sentimentally Yours and on my Facebook and on my YouTube. Hi Sandy. Glad you could make it. Hi Michelle. YouTube's taking a little while to... Okay. Oh, Pat's there. Hello Pat and Marlene. Let's see if I can get this going a bit. There it is. Hello Purple Penny. Right, well now we know we're all running. What I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can... Might not make any difference. I'll shut my windows right too. Let's see if that stops. Oh, shut. No, that one doesn't want to shut for that reason. I'll leave it. Can't be bothered. I'll just have to talk over the rattling. Let's see if I can move that a bit. Who else have we got? Jean. Hi Angie. Hi Jill. So did you all watch Phil last night with his reveal of the new stencils and chalky paints? I watched some of it. I must admit I didn't watch all of it. I'm trying to get this straight. It's not straight. There we go, it's better. Hello Jasmina. Hi Jill. Hi Pam. It's lovely to have so many of you join me today. I bet most of you are on Sentimentally Yours though, aren't you? Because you get the notifications. Yeah, it's easy to get carried away, isn't it, Jenny, in your craft room? Right, well, Ed's in with me, but he's asleep on the bubble wrap, so hopefully he won't be a pest. I have given him a treat or two, so hopefully that'll shut him up. He's not supposed to have very many. Hi, Sandra. Hi, Judith. Hi, Ilona. I'm amazed that you've managed to get so many samples done with the little one. I really am. Right, should we have a look at the new stencils and chalky paints, just as a bit of a review? I know most of you have seen them, but we'll have a little bit of a review so that just in case you missed last night, you can actually see it. Yeah, do subscribe, Andy. That'd be lovely. Hi, Karen. How are you? Right, so we have 8 new stencils and we have 15 new chalky acrylic paints. And so we've got kind of coordinating, they're not exactly the same set of stencils. So this is the Sophistication, and all the stencils are in 6x6, and then you've got a coordinating DL as well. So you can see this one's slightly bigger in its design. He's done these so that if you want to, you can actually extend the design out, so you can repeat the pattern next to each other. So you can do it for an 8x8 card if you want to. It is actually possible to extend it lengthways as well, because I have had a play at that. It's only a play piece, but you can see I've extended it out that way, and obviously extended it that way as well. So a big piece from a DL card. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Yeah, it is very windy at the moment, but my cat's not allowed outside, so you can't race around. So that's Sophistication, and I should say that these two stencils are actually exclusive to retailers. So when the stencils do go on the TV at some point, if they do, if there's stock left, then these two won't go on there. So you can only get those from, as I said, from retailers. But you can order right now on my website, juliawattscrafts.co.uk. My stock is due in next week, and then you can also get them from Mr. M's website as well, which is, I'm sure you know, honeypotcrafts.co.uk. Okay, so another stencil that we've got here, this is the Extravagance set. No wonder I couldn't find that to link to my YouTube channel. I was calling it Elegance. it's not that. Oh, it's Extravagance. So you can see this is actually a bigger design than the Sophistication. It's a more open design, which leads itself really well to do lots of techniques with the luster powders as well, I think. And lots of space for glitter. And also if you wanted to do some doodling, don't forget that you can use things like your Moonlight pens, your Sakura pens through these, or your white gel pens, and do some doodling on black card, which is very effective. And then this one is this one's kind of opposite to this pair. So on this pair, this is a bigger design than this one, and on this pair, this is a bigger design than that one. And you can see that they coordinate, but they're not exactly the same. It is elegant, isn't it? Yeah. This is the Mechanation, which I think is obviously going to be super popular, great for any of you steampunk, and obviously ideal for your men. And you can use your cogs dyes with them, and your MDF, and something that Indigo Blue have got coming out, their Woodology, will work really well with this as well. So that's the Mechanation. And then finally you've got Fanciful, and this one's got fleur-de-lis in it rather than hearts. Again, I think this would be great for men's cards as well, but very, very pretty. And it's actually quite easy to extend the 6x6 as well as extending the DL or the Slender stencil. So those are the 8 new stencils. That's all right, don't worry. Okie dokie. So, and then we've got all the paints. I haven't opened all of them yet because I haven't done a swatch, but I've got favourites already. So we have Petrol Blue, nice dark blue, Banana Split. It reminds me of the Banana Splits. I used to watch Banana Splits on the TV. I'm not going to sing the thing because I can't sing, but yeah, Banana Split. This is Indian Sunset, which is a nice chalky orangey colour. Then we've got, this is the Vintage Petal. And so I think you've got lovely pastels here, and you've got kind of vintage, I think Phil's called them heritage colours. Warm Cerise, that's another one of my favourites. This is the Ivory Linen, which is like a creamy white. Creamy white. This is the Dove Grey, lovely pale grey. You've also got your Rain Cloud, which is a slightly darker grey. And this is the Urban one, isn't it? Yeah, Urban Stone, which is I think I'd say it's like a browny grey, like a warm grey. Then you've got, this is definitely one of the heritage colours, Rainforest. This is my absolute favourite, Clear Sky, which we're going to be using today. You've got it in your head now, Caroline, haven't you? Oh dear, it's like Love Shack, and everybody will know about Love Shack, won't they? It came to my workshop, Angie. Sandy. Baby. We've got Raspberry Coulis here, which I think Phil used that one last night. Then you've got your Frosted Heather, a lovely pale pinky lavendery kind of colour. Lime Crush, which does coordinate really well with, I think one of the metallics is called Lime Crush as well. And then finally you've got your Peacock Plume, which is actually a very different blue to the Petrol Blue. Lovely, lovely, lovely colours. I've put mine on my website all as individuals, and they've all got a 10% discount on them at the moment, so you can actually shop, pick and mix, do whatever you want to. What have I done to my finger? I slipped last night when I was I was cutting up potatoes, and I've got a cut there, which was absolutely fine until I just put the bins out, and I caught it again. So I didn't think you'd want to see blood, and I don't want blood on my card either. So anywho, shall we crack on and do our demonstration? So I'm going to be focusing on the Sophistication, which is the one that's exclusive to retailers. And I'm also going to be focusing on Clear Sky, but I will be using, because I've got my background already dry, because it does take a while to dry if you're using the texture medium. We will use a different stencil and a different colour when we get to that bit, but for the moment we're going to be focusing on this. So do you know, I wouldn't even have remembered the name. What was I going to say? Yes, I have been recording a series of very short technique videos, and the first one will go live tomorrow. At the moment there's 4 to come, and I'm halfway through another 2, and they're not necessarily new techniques, but I just thought it'd be useful to have them as short demos that you could have a look at, rather than actually I'm reading your comments, actually having to sort through the bigger videos to find them. So anyway, that's what I've done. Right, so I did give you a bit of a sneaky peek, but I'm not going to give you too much information just yet. What we're going to do first of all is we are going to go to our flowers, and we're going to add a little bit of design to those using the Clear Sky and the stencil. Now these are from the Pretty Petals Precious Blooms, and I've used the largest 3 of the open flowers. So this is the set where you get open petals and solid petals, so you can layer them up, and they're very, very pretty like that. But we're just going to use the solids, and I think I might actually not have to make myself a mess and actually do it on a piece of paper. And then I might be able to use the paper depending on how much mess I make. Okay. So I've cut 2 out of each of those 3 largest sizes. Let's go on the biggest one first. And we're going to use, I say, the 6x6. I could use the DL, but I'm going to... In fact, I might mix it up. I might use both, because you can use both. Because the big flower is much bigger, I might use the DL on here. Or should I use that one? No, I'm just going to stick with the 6x6, and I'll have less washing up to do. Yes, Bonnie, whatever I create with this you can use with any stencils. You can use some of the Fairy Hug stencils as well, absolutely. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to just place this. Actually, you can't see really, can you, on a piece of white paper. We're going to place this so that the centre, let's see, I'm going to go in between with that, I think, do I? Or that. Faff. Stop moving. That's what we want, I think. Let's try and get it central so it doesn't look weird. That's what we're going to do. Doesn't really matter. I don't know why I'm trying to be precise, because it'll probably move anyway. So we're going to use a stencil brush, and we're going to use some of this, my favourite colour, Clear Sky. Which is a beautiful blue. Lovely baby blue. That's alright, doesn't matter. I'm only just starting. So I'm going to have to clear up anyway. So we're just going to go through the stencil with the stencil brush. This is another reason why I'm going to use a separate stencil, so I don't have to wash up here and now. You could, if you wanted to, you could actually do the entire stencil on a piece of white card and then die cut that, and then obviously you can position your dies where you want to go. You can, of course, this is acrylic paint, so if you wanted to, you can actually stencil onto your walls and do some wall decor with it. This is an acrylic paint. That should be rather lovely. Obviously you can use them on canvases. You can. It will also cure onto fabric as well. So there's one of our flowers. Let's do this one too. I'm all right on the back, it doesn't look dirty. Just be careful, because if you've been heavy-handed, you might have some on the back. And then that's obviously going to smudge your next flower that you do. You can always move on to a separate area of your stencil. I find stenciling quite therapeutic, actually. I've got white walls, actually. I could stencil on them. There's a thought. I might. When I've got 5 minutes, which I haven't at the moment. I'm going to have a very pretty plaster by the end of this, probably. Yeah, you use flowers on here, use your stamps on them, use all sorts of things on your die cuts. There's 2. And then we're going to go on to the medium size one. It's very repetitive, but like I say, it's quite relaxing. It will look slightly different on the smaller ones, because obviously you're not using so much of the stencil. That's my window. Oh, there's so many spiders coming in now. It started to rain. We've had some really big ones. I don't like spiders. Ed disturbed one in the kitchen yesterday, and all he did was succeed in it, sending it somewhere to hide rather than me giving it to me. I thought he might eat it, but I just wanted to play with it. And there's that one. It's pretty. I think Lozzie's actually stenciled on her flowers on one of her samples. Or might have been one of the other ladies. I don't know. I don't think it was David. I haven't seen David and Alison's samples. I'm sure they've done some. Do have a look on the Sentimentally Yours page. There is an album with all the design team samples. And you will be able to, if you missed it last night, you will be able to watch Phil's demo on his YouTube channel. Which is called Crafting with Phil Martin and Sentimentally Yours. So if in case you're wondering, the reason why I go into there and then dab off here is so that I don't have too much paint on my brush when I go through the stencil. So we've got 4. 2 more. Let's see, are we clean on the back? We're clean on the back. Right, this one will look different again because this is the next smallest one. So I think I'll actually not try and get it exactly in place and just do it like that. Don't worry about the paint on your craft sheet, it will come off. It is a water-based acrylic, Having said that, as I said, it will cure on fabric, so don't get it on your clothes. Or if you do, try and get it off straight away. Come off. Can't pick it up. Fingers underneath. There we go. Pretty. Does dry very quickly. So certainly those first ones I've done will be dry. Checking it's nice and clean there. So let's just do it like so. Don't have to be exactly the same. So when we finish this, I'm just going to pop the stencil in a bowl of water that I've got beside me, and then the paint should lift off. If you don't clean them or pop them into soak straight away, then because it's acrylic, it will actually stay on your stencil. The stencil will still work, but it'll be a different colour. There we go. Okay, so that's that. Put the lid on. Hear it click. Did you hear it click? When you hear it click, then you know you got it on properly. If you don't put it on properly, then your paint's going to dry out, and you don't want that to happen. We could dip. I'm not going to because I'm going to do other things, but you could definitely dip to pick up that paint and do yourself a background. Once it's dry, it's dry. It won't actually move at all. So unlike Distress ink, which is reactive with water, it won't react with water once it's dry. Cats you're scared of? Oh no. You wouldn't be scared of my cat. He goes nowhere near anybody. Right, so these are our flowers all done. So they will be virtually dry. I'm just going to put them to one side so I can do something else. Try and remember what I'm doing. Pretty. Okay. Right, what we're doing next. I don't know. What are we doing next? Right, what we're going to do next is we're going to stamp on our leaves. And I've got the Shabby leaves because they're my favourite. And I will bring in this piece of paper here. And we're going to use some of those new texture stamps that Phil bought out a couple of weeks ago. One of which, again, is exclusive to retailers. Let's see. I'm going to use the bubble wrap on the leaves. I haven't used any of these stamps yet, which is quite naughty of me. But I've been doing other things. They weren't going away, they weren't doing anything, they were fine. Acrylic block, Sentimentally Yours acrylic block. It'll be in one of the pack of 3 essential acrylic blocks. Honestly, Jean, he would go nowhere near you. He'd stay hidden in his pod. He'd get very hungry because he'd never come out of his pod. He's a scaredy cat. Right, so you're going to pop this on my block. A6 stamp onto an A6 block. Like so. Let's see if we can position these so we can do them all at once. I'm sure I've done it before, so I've been able to do all of them at the same time. So we've got the 5s. In fact, I probably did 3s last time. 5 leaves. No, not going to be able to do them all at once. Right, okay. I think I must have done the 3s before. Let's just do those and I'll do the 5 and the 2 in a minute. So I've teamed it up with faded jeans, because if we look at faded jeans, it's like that. And if we look at, let's bring in one of our flowers, it's kind of similar but different. It's darker, but I think it will coordinate nicely with it. You do make me laugh, Jane, you're so funny. Right, so we're going with the Oxide, and we're going to do lots and lots of tapping over our stamp. So the camera's going to jiggle about, because that's what happens. And I'm going to use Oxide rather than distressing, because it's going to give me a better image rather than shrinking away from the stamp, which is what distressing does, because that's what dye inks do. But the pigment that's also in Distress Oxide lets it cling to the image and gives you a better image. Okay, doesn't have to be perfect, because you know I'm not doing the whole area anyway. It's only just to give me some texture. And I'm also going to mist it with a little bit of water using my Sentimentally Yours Fine Mist Spray bottle, which I must get some more of. And what that does is it sets the ink off oxidising, and it gives you a better image, and a crisper image. Now this die does have debossed lines on it, so that's going to be interrupted a little bit. The stencil I used is Andy's Sophistication, which is the one that's exclusive to retailers, the Sentimentally Yours one. Give it a good old press, because obviously, like I say, I've got marks on it. I wonder if we're going to get, we might get a tooth out of this, or we might not. Yeah, we might. We might. Right, tweezers. Where's my tweezers? Should be on the desk somewhere. That's going to annoy me if I can't. Ah, there they are. Right. How cool is that? I like that. Happy with that. Right, put that one side to dry. And we're going to grab this one, which is our 5-piece. Yeah, I've missed a little bit on that, but I still really like it. It's just, I mean, look, compared to the plain one, let me grab the plain one. You can see the difference between them. Isn't that one more interesting than that one? I think it is. You've got lots of little bubble wraps all over it. That makes me happy. Simple little things please my little mind. There's a little one, and there's another little one. Fabulous. Right, so putting those to one side, but look what we've got going on here. I've done this before. Can you see? That's the making of another card. So what we're going to do is, before I didn't use decent card, but I'm going to use decent card this time. Where's the card? Because otherwise you'd have to re-ink anyway, and you'd lose this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it another little spritz of water, and then we're going to get a print off of this. I love doing this. I don't always use them, but I love doing this, especially with the shabby leaves, shabby foliage rather, because you've got the lines. I mean, you can see the lines, can't you, through the block, because you've got those are all from the debossed lines that you've got there. So the die is actually printed onto the stamp, as well as the stamp imprinting onto the die cut. Yes, Jean, it's the bubble wrap. Bubble wrap. I don't know if it's called that. What's it called? Let me have a look. It's called Distressed Bubble Wrap. That's what it's called. Okay, so let's get this print. Let me have a look. Oh, yes, it's wonderful. Look at that. Look at that. I think that's brilliant. There's a little bit there that I didn't press really hard at, so I should have perhaps used the stamping platform base to give me a bit of a cushion. But I think that's brilliant. I love that. I love that. That makes me so happy. Right, I've got more leaves to do here. I might not use all these leaves, but I definitely want to use the 5 one. So let's grab this one. This one won't be as good. And you can position, see here, they all are random, but you can position your debossed dies to actually, I don't know, form a pattern. So I could have them, I know we're around the wrong way here, so I know where the stamp's going to go because of the frame there. So I could actually have them like that if I wanted to. And then on my actual card, I could, once I've done my print, I could put a flower there. And then that would be a really cool card. Right, let's ink up this. The leaves are called Shabby Foliage. Lots of tapping. Tap, 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 tap. Do make sure, and I didn't, that there's not loads of water all over your stamp. I don't think it is because we did the print onto the card. And this is now the second time I've used this stamp, so this print may well be better because obviously the first time round, sometimes it's not as good. So again, we're going to give it a mist to oxidise the ink. And then we know where we're going because, or roughly, because we've already got a frame going on there. And we're going to press where the leaves are. And we're going to do that print thing again, because I can, and I'm not wasting the ink. It's so cool. So you could do it the other way around, and you could, just like with the stencil, you could actually stamp this and then die cut your leaves from it, but you wouldn't get quite the same effect because you wouldn't get that sort of recess there, because you'd have a continuous pattern where the deboss is, and it would just deboss into the pattern. So this is actually gives you a different result. It's so cool. Stamps are amazing. Talking of stamps, I'm involved with the Makers House in Fareham. It's a local shop that I've found. It's a creative space. They do lots of workshops and things, and that's where I'm doing my workshops. And I've just set up a stamping so that there's less going to print on here because of the fact that I haven't got any dies there, so I've got a full print on my paper there. Anyway, yes, so we're going to do a social stamping group. It's going to be on the first Wednesday of every month except for January, when it will be the second Wednesday. And it's just a couple of hours to come along and use my stamps and have a chat with like-minded people. And I think it's going to be a great social friendly session. Not that the workshops aren't, because they are, but I'm not teaching, but I think it's just going to be loads of fun, and hopefully people that have never tried stamping will come along and have a go. That's the idea. Or if you're experienced, you can just come and have a chat, and instead of doing crafting on your own, you can do it with other people. So let's pull that off. See, that one's better than this one. See, as I pressed, maybe because there's less leaves on there, so there's less resistance. Yes, they're just fabulous, aren't they? I'm spending all the time on these, and I've got loads of to do, but I just really like them. They make me happy. Do be careful because they will stick to, especially to a new stamp. There's my two. And this one will probably be trimmed down, but we'll do it anyway. We'll just see what it does for us. I've got loads of scraps of card. I might as well use them. I think I might go this way to use less card. And I'm on the stamping platform now, which is going to give me a bit of cushion, and hopefully we'll get everything stamped properly. It is a wonderful place. Sandy's been to my workshops there, and so's Angie as well, and we've had Val there and Heather. And we've got some new people coming in November to the workshop, the winter theme workshop on November the 5th. There's only 3 places left, so that's filling up a lot. There we go. I've missed a bit again there, but it's still very usable. I'm still happy with that. Even if I use that for die cuts, I prefer that one actually, but definitely usable. And obviously that's going to just wash off under the tap. I'm not going to put it in the bowl with the paint. Right, next what we're going to do. So next we've got, I'm using the Birthday Wishes from the Frame Sentiment. So I'm using this, and we're going to use the Distressed Lattice stamp to stamp onto our sentiment. There's our birthday. We are going to use the paint again in a minute. Birthday Wishes. That's all right, David. And what I've done also with this stamp set is I've actually cut out a pretty frame. So I haven't used the outer die there. I've just used these 2 dies together and they've given me that pretty frame. And all the frame sentiments I've popped a 10% discount on, as well as the sentiment edges as well. I've popped 10% on those as well. Okay, right. So we're going to stamp on the Birthday Wishes. I'm going to do the same sort of thing. Now, where's my piece of paper? Oh, there it is. Yes, I do. I might as well use the same one. Wishes birthday. Doesn't really matter, does it? And again, this is a new stamp. And we're going to use the paper jeans again. Keep all our stamping exactly the same. Obviously you could use a red fine clear if you wanted to, but I felt that the oxides were closer in colour to the clear sky than using one of the VersaFine Clairs, because we're quite limited with colours with VersaFine Clairs. Okay, where's my block? Oh, my block's got the other stamp on it. It's gone in the water now. Okay. Put it on the right way, Julia. That's not going to work, is it? Right. Okay, so let's get our lady jeans again. That's all right, Sue, no problem. So this is the Distressed Lattice. This is a more open, more delicate design than the bubble wrap, which is why I've chosen it for the words. I don't think it really matters which way it is, but if we want our lattice to be lattice way, we better go this way. We are going to give it a mist again, like we did last summer. Change the words, obviously. Give it a mist. So you can see this isn't me inking badly, this is just how distressed the stamp is meant to be. And these sort of stamps really help you if you're not confident in stamping, because you don't have to stamp them perfectly because they're not meant to be perfect. Hopefully I haven't got any wonky lattice. That would be a little bit, you know, if I've gone completely skew-if, but we'll see. Okay. I'm not going to do a print from this because, oh, it has gone a little bit wonky. That's going to drive me nuts. Because I don't think that's going to give me much, really. Careful, because it sticks to the stamp. Let's see if I can get it to you properly. It's musky whiff. I don't want to touch it yet because it's still wet. Isn't that pretty? That's supposed to be like that. That's part of the stamp. Very pretty. That's your birthday. And our wishes. Just because the stamps are new. Photopolymer stamps are always very sticky when they're new. Beautiful. Fabulous. Right, okay, birthday wishes. That's going to clean off as well. Oh, not on the floor, Julia. Got distressed lattice on the floor now. Right, give me a sec, I need to get that off. I don't want my laminate having that all over it. Has enough marks on it being a craft room as it is, let alone a stamp on it. Right, what's next? Let's have a look. Right, now I think we're going to do the stencil for my background. So remember I said to you that we're going to, because I've got my background all dry, and I'll show you the dried version in a minute, we're going to use a different stencil and a different colour to the paint we're using, because I'm focusing on the clear sky from the new Chalky paints. But we do it in a different colour, just so you can see a different colour and a different stencil. So I think we'll go for the decisions. I think we'll go for the Fanciful, which is the one that's got the fleur-de-lis on it. So remember, there's a DL one that matches as well. Phil's called it Slender. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to put it on acetate, which I know you can't see, but there is acetate there. You can see it, okay? And this is actually heat emboss acetate, because it's the only acetate I buy. So if I want to heat emboss on it, I'm not going to think, oh, is it heat emboss or not? Because I do get things mixed up. So this is an A5 piece, so the stencil just about kind of fits. But let's have it down a bit, because we're not going to bother about wasting a little bit of the acetate. Low cut tape. This is the Scotch one, which I tend to get from Amazon because it's not worthwhile getting it in trays, really. You buy it cheaper on Amazon. So secure it. We're going to secure it top, bottom, and I'm going to secure it on the sides as well, even though there's no acetate on the side. It'll just stick it to the mat and it won't come up at all. So we are going to use, which one's open? We're going to use texture medium from the Flourish media, and we are also going to use a different colour paint. Let's go for, what to go for? Let's go for one that I wouldn't normally go for. I'm going to go for Urban Stone, which is that kind of warm grey colour. You see, not used it yet. I haven't used all of them yet. So I was saying when I was doing one of my videos, and you'll hear me say it, this texture paste is, or texture medium is actually, same thing, is absolutely amazing, because this has been open since, it's my original one actually, I think. So this has been open since a year, last February I believe Phil launched it, and it's still lovely and runny and pliable, and that just doesn't happen at all. It's amazing, absolutely amazing. So we're going to put a good amount, I think. Will that be enough? Yeah, we'll say that's enough onto my craft sheet, because I'm not going to be able to put any back. You can if you've got extra over. I'm going to put a little bit more. If you've got a little bit over, you can actually pop it through another stencil. So have another stencil and another piece of paper or another piece of card at hand so you can do it. It's always a good idea. Obviously, I don't know why I've just cleaned that because I'm going to use that in a second. It's always a good idea to clear around the top of your pot before you put your lid on, because it is a texture medium, which means that it will seal the pot and you won't be able to get in it. That's the worst thing possible that can happen, in that you can't get into your texture medium, especially when it's a relatively new one or you've got loads left. It's heartbreaking because you just can't get in it. So always do that. Hi Kathleen. When you store them upside down, be careful, because obviously the paint's in the lid, just like this is. But it's a good way to see the colours. Let's just put a little bit here. You don't need very much, and remember, that's plenty, that's more than enough. Remember, it's a wet medium that you're applying to a wet medium, so you change the dynamics, or not the dynamics, you change the composition of the medium, and you've made it runny. So if you're just spreading it normally, you could end up with more of it seeping underneath your stencil. So just beware of that, so don't put much in. You don't need to worry about the luster powders, because the luster powders are powder, and so they don't alter it at all. But look, not very much at all, and look how rich that colour is. The texture medium is white, but it dries perfectly clear and glossy, because it is a glossy texture medium as opposed to a matte texture medium. But you really don't need much at all, so you know, you don't need to worry about you getting your colour nice and rich, because you just don't need to add much, which helps you because it means it doesn't go underneath the stencil. That's a lovely, lovely, lovely grey. Oh, over there, Julia. Okay, so now we're going to just put some at the edge of my stencil. Like so. Let's see if we can get all of that on there. Then we're going to use one of the Woodware scrapers tools. You get 2 in the pack for $2.99, which is an absolute bargain, and they're game changers. They really are. How easy is that? How easy is that? I didn't need to add that extra bit. I'm just going to leave that there a minute. I'm going to tidy up the edge and put that there a minute. Put that there. That so I don't know what I've done with the other one. So right, so the thing to remember with acetate, actually that's not very even there, is it? It's better. The thing to remember with acetate is that it is clear, so when you come to remove it, don't smudge it into any of the medium that's on your mat, because if you do that you'll see it from the other side. So just remember that. It's a good idea just to take these off in the order that you put them on. Here's my bin, here's my bin. When we've done this, we need to just make the flowers, and then we can construct a card. Because everything's cut out. I'll show you what I've done actually before we do that, because I did do something else ahead of time. So I've got stuff on my mat here, so I must not pop my acetate into that. I tend to take, I know a lot of people don't do this, but I tend to take the top one off as well, and then just hope I've got no kickback. You do need to work reasonably quickly, not so much on acetate because it's not an absorbent surface, but certainly on paper you need to work quite quickly because of the stencil drying onto it. So I'm just going to grab this and pull it away carefully. And kick back. And I am not going to miss that and take a print, because that's the thing with using the scrapers, there's virtually nothing on my stencil. I am going to pop it into that bucket of water though, just so that, and I'm going to be careful there on the left. Let's pick that up and show you. Look at that, look how clear that is, even on acetate. And I tell you, it's those scraper tools, they are a massive game changer. That's just beautiful. Let's see if I can find one. Let's find a piece of card. Oh no, a piece of paper. Here we are. Pop it on. I should be able to see better. There we go. Isn't that just absolutely amazing? Now, you don't need to do a lot else with that, really. I'd put a frame around it, stick maybe a sentiment banner or a sentiment in the middle, which is something similar to what we're going to do, and job's a good one. Now, because it's on acetate, you can do lots and lots of different things with your card as well, but it's amazing, isn't it? So beautiful. Yeah, so beautiful. Right, let's put that somewhere where the cat's not going to walk in it, which means it needs to be out of his line of sight. There we go. And before we tidy that up, let's grab the Mechanation DL stencil, and let's just use up the rest of this so that we don't waste it, because that would be wrong to waste that. Okay, let's pop that in the gap. I am going to secure it, because I'm going to obviously use the scraper tool. Just secure it at the top, that'd be enough. And we're just going to pop some at the top and just see how much we get. It won't be the full lot. I'd be amazed if it is, but you know, we'll see what we get. I might be able to get a flag or something out of it. There's a little bit there. The top's all covered, which I'm happy with. We're still going. Almost getting the whole thing. Almost. Not quite. Okay. Pop that in there. And peel this off. And that's just a bonus, because rather than wasting the paste, I'm just going to get those stamps out of there, because now there's texture medium in there. I don't want those stamps to get. That's it. Right. Cool, huh? Even with the bits that are missing, it kind of fits, because it's a steampunky kind of feel to it. Fabulous. How long will it take to dry? Right, how long is a piece of string? It depends, Annette, on how big the holes are in the stencil, and how absorbent the card is. This isn't watercolour card, so it would be quicker on watercolour card, and also the conditions in the room that you're in. So it all depends. In the summer, when it's been really hot, it's dried really quickly. But I suppose this will probably be dry in less than an hour, this one, because these are smaller pieces. On the acetate, it takes longer to dry, because acetate isn't absorbent. So yeah, just be patient, that's all. It'll dry when it's dry. That's all I can say. Right, let's tidy up. I could make backgrounds and work with stencils for ages. What was I telling you? Oh yes, I went off at a tangent, didn't I, when I was talking about the Maker's House? Yes, the Maker's House, where I'm doing my workshops, and we've got this new social stamping session that's on the first Wednesday of the month. And then my workshops are going to be bi-monthly on the first Sunday of the month, except for January when it's the second Sunday of the month. I'm also going to talk to the lady that owns the shop about doing a stenciling or a stencil techniques workshop as well. That'll probably be a 3-hour workshop. I don't know, I'll see if I can get a Saturday. If I can't, then it'll be during the week, and we might try and get a Saturday next year, but we'll see. I'll see if I can get one in October, and if it's popular, then we'll do another one. But it would be like a subset of the backgrounds masterclass that I used to do when I lived in Milton Keynes, which was very popular. But we're just going to focus on stencils. We won't be doing jelly plates though, because there's another lady called Sandra that does work with jelly plates. So I don't want to do something that somebody else is doing. She's a lovely lady as well. Right, okay, we're all clean. Right, so what else I did was I just took a piece of card, like this one, and took my clear sky. In fact, I'm not going to take, should I take clear sky? Yeah, I'll take clear sky. And a brush. And I've just painted. I think clear sky is going to be empty first. I've just painted onto a piece of card, white card, with the clear sky. It's funny, this card, because where I put when I got rid of the wet, it kind of pips a bit, or whatever it's called. Gets a bit of texture. So that's what I did on a strip of card, painted. See how well it covers. I've used quite a bit of that because I really like it. I've used it in some of the techniques videos as well. It's my favourite. I might have mentioned it's my favourite. I just like blue. Blue's my favourite colour. I gravitate towards blue. And I do like the lime crush though, and I also like banana split. They're my favourites. But I did like that urban stone actually. It'll be whatever I'm using is my favourite, but definitely clear sky is my favourite. Hi Stacey. You like the sound of that? That's great. That's great. You see, the people that were in sort of Central have already had that. So anyway, so what I did was using my my piece of paper that I actually painted. I then did some die cutting. Now just beware that it's a little bit harder for the machine to cut through paper that's covered with acrylic paint, so you might want to use your metal shim, or pass it through a second time, especially when I cut these. So this is your droplet corners. This is the smaller one, and I've cut these out of, see they're not coloured card, it's just painted with the clear sky, and I've cut them out. So, and do remember that there is a separate video on my YouTube channel that gives you loads of ideas on how to use these corners and the different patterns that you can do with them, and also with the heart sprig corners as well, the heart corners as well. I've also cut from the Cherished blooms. I've cut the smallest one, and this is going to go in the centre of my flowers. So I cut 4 of those, I've cut 3 of those, I've cut that, and I've also cut some sprigs as well, some droplet sprigs, the open ones. I cut loads out, and it's just with a piece of card that it was this big. I got loads of stuff out of it. So anyway, let's just go and show. I'll show you my piece that's dry. Actually, I ought to do that. This is my acetate piece with the Fanciful stencil that's dry, with the clear sky. So this is the one with the, this has got the texture this side. I am actually going to use it this side though, which is a little bit more muted. It's not as shiny, but what it means is that you can actually easily stick die cuts to it because it's not bumpy, it's not raised. So that's why I'm going to use this side. If you're using acetate as well, when we get to it, you can actually easily make shaker cards. So you can have different textures underneath. So you can do more things if you have a separate layer that's got acetate. Yes, I painted then cut, Linda. As I showed you, I just painted a piece of card with the clear sky, and then once it was dry, you do make sure it's 100% dry, and then you can cut them out. You can use another piece of card, Stacey, if you don't have a shim. Use another piece of card underneath your die or whatever your base plate is. I'm not sure what the Sizzix sandwich is. Anywho, let's what should we do first? Let's make our flowers up, and we'll stick these together as well, I think, and then we'll be ready to put it all together. So let's get birthday wishes on here. Which is going to look nice. It's going to look lovely. So let's do a bit of scribbling. Do you know, I've had this glue since before I moved. So this glue is like, and I use it for everything. It's 120ml, and I'm about there. And it's lasted me since November. I moved in December, so yeah, probably. I might not have done any crafting before Christmas, so we'll say January. So it's lasted me really well. Do some scribbling. I won't be using glitter, that's for sure. I'll leave that to Phil. Okay, let's dip birthday in first. And I need another piece of kitchen roll. Hang on. I want to just dab off the excess. So that it doesn't leak. Don't hang about though. It's very difficult to craft when you've got a huge plaster on your finger. There we go. Beautiful. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? I really like that. Right, let's dip wishes. Going quite dark here. I haven't got any lights on though. It's not bad, is it, the light here, considering how dark it is. Give it a dip. And pop wishes on. It doesn't actually matter if you're off slightly because you're just giving it a bit of a drop shadow. And there's our wishes. No, I don't do the hair on there. I don't put glue on my hand. I've never done that. Right, let's get a bit rid of that now. Kitchen rolls here. Okay, done that, done that, done that, done that. Let's do the flowers now. Make my moulding mat. How should we do the flowers this time? Let's think. Should we do them up or down? Let's do them up. Just give them a bit of shape. Don't worry about the paint cracking because it doesn't. And what goes with that? That one does. Yeah, it's very clean, isn't it, Marlene? Marlene's on YouTube saying that after watching you dab off the excess glue, I always do that now and I don't get any mess. Yeah, little things like that. Just don't leave it on the kitchen roll too long, because obviously it'll just stick to the kitchen roll. But yeah, little things like that. You just kind of learn them along the way. So that's going to go on that one. Pretty. Sorry, Sue. It's lovely to have your company on a dark day. I normally do my videos or my lives at 11 AM, but I was busy this morning, so I couldn't do it. Because as you know, Phil is unable to do the shows this week. He's had to cancel them. So everything's been brought forward a little bit. As I was going to do this on, when was I going to do it? Wednesday morning. But it's fine. And if you've only just joined, on my YouTube channel, which is that, you will find that from tomorrow onwards, I mean, there are already lots of videos in the Flawless Media playlist from when he did the metallic paints, say he, Mr. M, when he brought out the metallic paints, and also when he brought out the original chalky paints. I've got some videos on there. But I'm also adding from tomorrow onwards, there's a video a day for the next, well, I've got 4 scheduled already, so the next 4 days definitely, and I'm part way through another 2 with techniques, and most of them will go into that Flawless Media playlist. Some of them will just go into the backgrounds playlist if I'm not using any of the Flawless Media, but it's loads and loads of techniques with stencils, which we will also do in a workshop when I suss out a date with Jamie at Maker's House. Oh, let's get rid of that. Can't see what I'm doing, can you? I'm just doing the same thing as I did when I started. Okay, so there's our flowers. Let's pop some glue in the centre. Each one, aren't they pretty? Obviously we're not going to see that dot in the centre because we're going to put something else in the centre, but it does give you a good point to centre your stencil when you're actually stenciling through. Where's my... So we're going to offset those and then give them a good press with a tool, and they all pop up. And of course the pattern kind of flows as well, because I've kind of positioned them more or less the same on each size flower with the stencil. It makes kind of a complete pattern. Really, aren't they pretty? What did you say? What's Jean answering to? Let's have a look. Linda, yeah, on top of the flowers I use the Distressed Lattice stamp. Right, okay, so we're also going to put, so these are the Precious Blooms, and then we've got these little, the smallest of these are meant to be the open petals in the Cherished blooms, and all we're going to do is see if we can get these to pop up. So we just going to give them a little bit of a pop. Some of the petals have overlapped the ones next to them as they're popping up. So this is instead of using stamens. Obviously if you've got the stamen set you can use that, but sometimes I like to just mix the flowers up and see if you can put flowers in the centres. And we're going to pop one of those in each of the flowers. And don't worry about the glue moving the paint, because it's not going to, because it's dry. It's not like distress ink where the glue interferes with the ink. It just doesn't. Getting straight. It's weird because it's quite dark for me here, but it looks all right on the camera, so I'm not going to put a light on because we might get a bit of reflection from the light. So there we are. So now they look like this. And in fact, where I've used the embossing tool, it's kind of darkened the paint. I don't know if you can just about see that. So it's given it a bit more difference. And I'm going to just leave them for a minute. I'm going to put a pearl on in a minute once the glue's dried. So put those to one side. So let's crack on and start assembling this card. I'm making a proper card. It opens and everything. Look, this is an 8x8 card block that I found in my drawers. In one of my really useful boxes that I've moved house with. That. So it opens, look, I'm going to do that again. It opens and everything. Yes, I'm going to put a pearl in the centre. I've got some. See here. But I'm waiting for the glue to dry. It's so patient. And I've got a piece of the white card. And this is the classic Flourish embossing folder. And we're just going to put that onto a slightly bigger piece of card. I'm not going to ink around the edges or put paint around the edges, because I'm going to put these on the edge, and I don't want, because I'm using the blue, I don't want to detract from that colour. Oh, let's show you. See, if I actually ink around the edge, then we'll lose the definition of this. So I'm going to keep everything white. So let's pop this down with some glue. Both the debossed and the embossed side are really lovely on this. Okay. Let's have it that way. And see if it's straight. Ish. Remember, card does actually change shape a little bit when it goes through embossing folder. I'm not going to glitter around the edge either, because I'm going to stick these corners on. I am debating. I don't know whether to put them on like that. Let's have a look. Or I'm going to put, I think I might put them right into the corner, but then that's going to be difficult for me to glue. So I think I'm actually going to put them on this layer here. That's what's going to happen. Right, so I've got 4 of them. Where's the other 3? Where's the other 3? It's 1, 2. Come here. Come on. There we go. 3. Right, so we're going to be dipping again. If we're dipping, should I do all the dipping at once? That's the question. Right, I think we do all the dipping at once. So in which case, we'll take our debossed double stitch circle, and this is what's going to go. Oh, this is what's going to go on my background. Remember, my background is going to be that way, because I'm not using it that way because it's easier to... Mind you, having said that, it is pretty flat. Decisions. That way. Or that way. It's more defined that way, isn't it? It's good both ways. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to do it the way I intended. That's what I want to do. Right, so we're going to stick our circle on top. So I need some foam. And I'm going to use Creative Expressions mounting cushion, because you can bend it round the corners. I have got some that are open, but I don't know where it is. There's still a number of things which I don't know where they are. Okay, where's my scissors? There they are. This is really good actually, because it doesn't bung up your scissors, and like I say, you can go around corners, which is fab. Let's put a couple of strips. See if that's enough. So if you're going to go around corners, you need to take both of the backing pieces off. I think we need 2 layers actually, because this is it's quite thin actually. I'd say, I used to know what it is. I'd say it's about, I think it's less than 1 millimetre. That's a bit too wide. You can see we go around corners, which is brilliant. I see my comments are on the app I use, the comments are siphoning through again, so I've got people saying hello again, as if we just started, which is very helpful, because I can't see your new comments when it's like that. So apologies if you're asking me something and I'm not answering, it's because I can't see them. That's around that corner there. You see, I couldn't do this ahead because it has to be not on the carry sheet. But we won't be long now. Made flowers. They always take a while. Both pieces off. I'm just filling this gap here. It also means that you can actually go all the way around without having any gaps. And it's also very forgiving, so if you actually put it down wrong, you can lift it off again, which is really cool. What's happening there? Dirty mark. I'm going to just snip that. I'm not happy with that there. Let's just peel that off again. See, just like magic, you can peel it back again. It started to go wrong there because I went up a bit. So I'm going to just cut that off instead of going up and start again. So I'm having it too thick. It's still not as deep as like 2 millimetre. Oh, head's awake. I can hear his rough tongue cleaning himself. Right, one more piece and then we'll be done. We need a full piece. If you want it thicker, you can actually stick the two pieces that come in the pack together and just cut those up. Where are we? Where do we end? We end there. Right, so I've decided, I'm overruling you, I've decided we're going on this here. So it just about fits like so. And then we can undercut carefully so we don't snip into the circle itself. I might snip into the sticky, but it doesn't really matter. I've cut the circles as big as possible so I can use the majority of my background. There's virtually none of my background that's wasted. Now if you want to make a shaker card, what you do is you do the same, put the tape on again all the way around, and then you can pop some shaker bits and pieces onto your background and then pop this on top of that, and then you've got a shaker. I'm not doing a shaker. I did have a look and I haven't got the right colour bits. I wanted some pale blue sequins and I haven't got any. There we go. Oh, dirty mark there, let's get rid of that. Not happy with that dirty mark. Where did it go? There. It is. I've made an executive decision, absolutely. I'm allowed. Right. So we need to put these on before we put this on because these are going to overlap a little bit. Okay, so let's get these corners stuck and get on with it. Okay, so where are we? Where's this? Dab off, and then we'll go into this corner. Number 2. It's extremely windy here. Can you, that's not water running, that's Ed cleaning himself. I don't know if you can hear him. He's such a noisy cleaner. So, corner number 2. Need a bit more glue. Corner number 3. This is more like a fill card, the amount of time I'm taking, sorry. I'm having a nice time though. This is going to go into this corner. And then the final one. Give it a dab. I find it easier to turn my card and always go in the same corner. It's funny though, you can look like you're precise and then you can turn away and it'll just go all wonky on you. Because they do that. Turn away. Right, let's stick this on here. Am I going again or am I going to go flat? That's the question. I think, oh, no, I need to go again. Let's do our gluing because I wanted to do my gluing. So we're going to have birthday wishes and my frame. The wonkiness will be sorted out in a minute. So you've got to be quite careful when you glue onto acetate, because obviously you're going to see any glue marks. So I'm just hoping that I get it right. Hoping I've got enough glue on there as well. I don't want it to lift up, because then you do end up getting in a bit of a mess if it lifts up. A dab. And I want to have it, stand up, I want to have it about there. I'm alright with those, those can have glue, they don't need dippy glue. So we can clear up this mess now. Just put another layer of tape around the edge. Talk amongst yourselves while I'm doing this. Yeah, Andy, I have an idea in my head and it doesn't always work. And sometimes I go off at a tangent and change my mind. But it's all part of the process, isn't it? And when things go wrong, it just shows that things go wrong, you know, it's just one of those things, isn't it? Because if you put it on flat, you lose any dimension that you might get from being able to look through the acetate at the embossing folder underneath. So it's quite nice to have it raised as well. Obviously, if you're using a square or rectangular frame, that's easier because you ain't got corners to go around. But we've got corners to go around here. So I find it easier to use the mounting cushion rather than cut lots and lots of little pieces of foam tape, as I'm not a fan of pin flare myself, except to repair things. I think it's very good for repairing things. The glue be strong enough for album making? Yes, it's very, very strong glue. It's very good glue. It's premium PVA. That's a bit big that side. Let's go that side. I'm going to do just one more again, so we're doubled. It's a little bit wide there. Bear with me. It'll be worth it in the end, honestly. Where are we going? Have I been up there? let's start down here so all my joins are in different places. Yeah, the techniques videos are, I think the longest one I've done is 12 minutes so far, so they are very quick. And obviously we're not, that you might see a little pause and then I'll start again, because I'm obviously not waiting for things to dry. But there again, I'm also not prepping things and having them, oh, here's one I dried. I'm not doing that. Otherwise I'll have so many backgrounds. Oop, that's the camera. I don't know if that's the first, that might be the first time. I've wobbled it with my stamping, but I think that might be the first time I've knocked it. There we go. There we go. Just about. How's that? Perfect. Perfect. Right. So this now can go on here. I'm having it. I need to really ensure it's straight. I'm happy with that, I think. That's all right, Jean. You can always catch up on Facebook from where you left off, because I know you can't get YouTube. Right, so that's what we've got now. So you can see underneath the acetate, sorry about the glare, but you can see a bit of depth because I've popped the frame on something. So we're up, let's put this on the card blank now as well. So we're going to pop this on, I think I need 2mm foam tape because of the depth of the frame. So I could use mountain cushion again, but I'm not, because it is more expensive. So you only want to keep it for jobs that regular foam won't do. So this is just the Woodware foam tape. Do I need to give what a mist with water once it's open, David? Do you mean the texture medium? If you do, you shouldn't do that, because you're making it runnier, and you don't want that. If that's what you're asking me, David, don't not ask, but don't mist it. No, I've not misted it. I've not done anything with it. My texture medium, all I've done is cleaned around the top, put the lid on as soon as I've used it, finished using it, and it's just brilliant. I've never had a texture medium that I've had for over 12 months that hasn't gone solid. It's there's nothing more heartbreaking, is there? You spend your money on things, texture paste and things, and just because you don't, you open them, once the air gets to them, they lose their integrity, and if you don't touch them again for say 6 months, then they're no good, and you've wasted your money then, haven't you? Right, so this is now going on here. Like that. And then we're going to add our birthday wishes. The end is near. So it's easier to put the glue on now because you've got that that thicker layer at the bottom. You could put glue gel on or little bits of foam tape. I'm not doing that, I'm just going to glue it. I am going to dab it off a bit though, because it's on acetate. The glue tends to spread out a little bit more. Let's give that a dab. So I didn't want to do the frames with all the layers, because I want to see my beautiful stenciled background, but I obviously want to have the birthday wishes in a frame as well. I could have just had the thicker layer in blue, but I'd run out and I didn't want to do any more, and then cut that inner die again, so I'd still be looking in at a frame. So that's another thing that you can do with it. So this is the frame sentiments called Birthday Wishes, and I stamped on top with the Distressed Lattice in Faded Jeans, and you've got the Clear Sky as the backer there. And then we're going to have our leaves. So the leaves have been stamped with the bubble wrap, Distressed bubble wrap. I think because our flowers are quite big, I think we are going to have the leaves down quite a bit around. We can always fill in with more leaves anyway. I tend to put my leaves on first. It's probably not the way to do it, but it's the way I do it. You can also shape these leaves, but on this instant I'm not going to. I'm going to keep them flat, because then I can actually glue them to my frame. So I think we're going to have them, don't want to go down too low because I don't want them to come below my card, so I think we're going to pop them there. I didn't need to put that glue on there. Right, so I'll bear that in mind when I get to the top. We have glue just in there, maybe just at the very bottom. So we want pearls in the centres of the flowers now. So I've just got normal white pearls from Sentimentally Yours, and I think we'll go for, should we go for the big ones? Let's go for the big ones, the 8mm. Gosh, where did that last half an hour go? I thought we'd be finished by past. It's probably me putting all that foam on. I'll go over to my daughter's and put the bins out. Gosh. Well, we'll definitely be done by 2 hours, because there's not a lot to do now. Pick up my pokey tool. I can pop the pearl in the centre, which of course it flips over. Right, we'll try again, shall we? Give it a good old push. Come on. Sticking to my fingers now because there's a bit of glue on it. So obviously as you push it, the flower does flatten out a wee bit. It doesn't want to stay, does it? That's it. Oh, you're in now. So pretty, these flowers. Darker and darker. And the night's they're coming in earlier, aren't they? It's dark by 8 o'clock now. Seems to have happened all of a sudden. It's a neighbour putting her bin out. Oh, for heaven's sake. What are pearls doing to me today? Do you know, you have days like this, don't you? Let's try again. Because they're the flowers are so dimensional, it's not got a flat surface to stick to. That's why it's playing on. That one needs cleaning. That's nice and clean now. Right, should we try again then, mate? See, no, I don't want to go in a flower. You've got to go in a flower. There's no choice. It's happening. Suck it up. It is, it's happening. You're going, whether you want to or not. I'm the boss. Stick. Right. Okay, there's the flowers. They're in now. What else do we need to do? Right, just need to put the flowers on and do our sprigs and stuff. And there's the other leaves as well. So I think what we'll do is try and get these flowers on. Probably the pearls will fall out as soon as I pick up the flower. I've got all these sprigs I've cut out of my lovely clear sky painted piece of card. And we've still got some 2s and 1s of leaves to kind of nestle in if we need to. If I can pick them up. There we go. Right. Right. I'll try not to get these pearls to come out. So this one's going to go in the centre because it's the biggest one. And we're going to have this one coming down here because it's the next biggest one. And the pearls out. Of course you are, mate. Rude. I like to be bang in the centre. There we go. Okay. And then the smaller one. This one really played up, so yeah, I can imagine this pearl's going to come out. My leaves are probably a bit further apart than they should have been, but it's all right because we've got other bits and pieces that we can pop in. How's it looking? It's not looking too bad. Right. Let's pop some other leaves in. Excess. I think we'll probably bring in some 2s in here. Do I need another 2? Might not do actually. Might need another 1 in a minute. Let's bring in some sprigs, droplet sprigs. I'm always wishing I'd have cut the full ones now. I cut the open ones because that's what I've used in the corners, so I thought it would coordinate. I may well add some more flowers. We could add another leaf down there maybe. That's going to look weird. Where's my other bubble? Yeah, I put the leaves too far apart, which is why you should always put your flowers on first. I never do. Okay. Let's just break that a bit. Pop this in. Don't know where it's sticking. It is. we looking? It's not looking too bad actually. I think I might want one of these single leaves. Going up there. I even have a double coming in down here. Do you know, I think I might stop there. I'm quite happy with that. What do you think? Do you like it? It's definitely more of a fill card, isn't it? Enormous flowers. And I've still got 3 little sprigs left. I might stick those in afterwards, but I might not. I need to step away from it because I've been looking at this for nearly 2 hours. I've got another leaf. Look at that leaf. It's a shame not to use that. Anyway, yes, I hope you've enjoyed it. And yeah, I have answered that question, hopefully. Yeah, hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's been useful. And do remember that you can find all the products we've used, and I did actually look, I've made you a list, so those are all the products that I've used. I also used the Urban Stone paint through the Mechanation DL stencil, the Slender stencil, and also through the Fanciful 6x6 stencil as part of the demo as well. But so that list there is everything that I've used on the actual card itself. So you can obviously take a screen print of that, but I will actually add that to the actual description when this gets published properly. I have lovely writing, do I really? It's quite scruffy. So as I said, you can find everything at juliawattscrafts.co.uk and also at honeypotcrafts.co.uk as well. It'd be really lovely if you do shop from me as well, otherwise you know, can't survive without you guys, I'm afraid. So anyway, yeah, there's 10% on all the new chalky paints, and there's also 10% on the new stencils, and I've also popped 10% discount on the frame sentiments and also the sentiment edges as well. So I do hope you've enjoyed it and it's useful. Remember, you can watch it at any point on my YouTube channel, which is Julia Watts Crafts, and remember to like and subscribe over there as well. That would be absolutely lovely. Enjoy the rest of your day, what's left of it, and do watch out for the videos that start tomorrow. And I just need to say thank you for watching. Bye for now.